Hello everyone, this is Raymond Dijkstra from Saor Alba NL, the YouTube channel for Netherlands for Scottish independence. We're joined today by, somebody that basically needs no introduction, spokesperson for Hope Over Fear, Mr. Tommy Sheridan. How you doing, comrade?
Hi, comrade.
So it must be a busy week for you.
This week there's an expression that is difficult to write down because I don't know exactly how you would spell it, but it's chock-a-block, chock-a-block, which basically means absolutely no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got. I was out all day today with a press call in George Square today. None of the press, well, that's not true. Some of the press did turn up, but very few. But we had some of our performers. We entertained the lunchtime crowd in Glasgow.
I saw that.
And we gave out lots of leaflets. So it's been a busy few weeks, and this week in particular is very busy. But we're hoping that Saturday's going to be worth it.
Definitely. I was there 2 years ago, and it's just an event that you have to be there to experience it. It's just a great atmosphere, and people, if you haven't decided on going, please do. It's an amazing event. Right, Tommy. First question that I basically ask everybody during the interview is, how important is it for the international community to show support for Scottish independence?
Well, Raymond, it's important because when we secure our independence, which I believe we inevitably will, we
Definitely.
will want to build links with other countries, with other nations, with the peoples of other nations, links that will be based on common goals of peace, of cooperation, of human solidarity. So it's important that we start those links and build that relationship before we get our independence. Obviously, more important than international support is domestic support, because if we don't have
Yeah.
domestic support, we'll never get our independence. So
No,
that's obviously the priority, goes without saying. But I do think that we have a vision, those of us in the independence movement, which is an entirely progressive movement. We have a vision of not building more walls or barriers, but actually taking down walls and taking down barriers,
Yeah.
and welcoming citizens from all across the planet who want to come and live and work in a new independent Scotland. We don't wish to express anger or discontent at people coming and either seeking refuge in Scotland or seeking to come and build a new life in Scotland. Scotland is a nation that was built on immigration. Irish immigration, Polish immigration, Italian immigration. We are a nation of immigrants. So we want to build friendly relations with people across the planet, and that means international support is very important.
Definitely. And uh, the things with the international support, it should be more as it is now. But the thing is, like in the UK with mainstream media, there's not much attention for a situation. Well, of course, now a little bit more with the whole Brexit scenario, but um, there's not a lot of uh, 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 stuff on the mainstream media here as well, um, concerning the whole situation that Scotland's in, or even Wales or Northern Ireland for that matter. Uh, what would you say to people that might be watching this interview, and to get more knowledgeable about that? What would you say to them?
Well, I would ask anyone who's interested in Scottish affairs, particularly in relation to independence, to tune in to the independent sites. You've got Hope Over Fear, which is a fabulous site. You've got All Under
Definitely.
One Banner. You've got Forward as One. You've got Wings Over Scotland. You've got loads of very good and popular independent sites which would give you information that you don't get in the mainstream media. The mainstream media is uniformly unionist. They don't want independence. They'll do everything they can to stop independence. They'll lie, they'll distort, they'll set up a narrative which basically means that we're too wee, we're too stupid, we're not rich enough to run our own affairs, which is entirely garbage. But that's the narrative they'll run. And they want people to ignore the independence movement. So anyone interested, please get onto the Hope Over Fear website. We've got Twitter page, we've got Facebook page. Get on to All Under One Banner, get on to Wings Over Scotland. There are loads of good links in each of these sites, definitely, which will give you a lot of information.
Definitely. Well, that was a question I wanted to ask and it slipped my mind. Yeah, like you said, in the media, that then don't tell you anything that you want to know, basically. For instance, take the events. Like we talked about peaceful events that we basically organize, like Hope Over Fear, All on One Banner, even the ones in Europe. Like last year at the All on One Banner rally, there were 190,000 people or somewhat like that, and there was no incident whatsoever. You hear about the other marches, the orange marches, or the counter demonstrations for that, and there are incidents, but in the mainstream media, it's portrayed as that the independence marches are the aggressive ones. What's your take on that?
Well, obviously, it's very frustrating, Raymond, to witness demonstrations that sometimes muster a few hundred, but because someone throws a bottle or starts a fire, it becomes mainstream news and it gets extensive coverage. But when you got 190,000 people marching through a city without a single arrest, without a single incident, somehow it's not news. It really is frustrating because we are a peaceful movement. We are passionate, we are very determined, but we're peaceful, we're civil. But sometimes because of that, the media is not interested. The media is only interested when there are incidents, when there's something that they can blow out of proportion. So from our point of view, it's frustrating, but you know what? The mainstream media is simply not as influential as it once was. It is a deteriorating forum. Newspapers are dying. The official radio and television stations are losing viewers and listeners hand over fist. Social media is where you'll get your information now. It's the most reliable source. Social media has got lots of problems, we know that, but at least it provides a forum for those who otherwise would not be heard and would not be seen.
Indeed.
So that's what's important about it. So we just need to get on with the job, Raymond, and accept that these individuals, these powerful billionaires who own and control the media, they are not going to cover us because we are a threat to them. Because an independent Scotland isn't going to be a Scotland where nothing changes. It's going to be a Scotland where we challenge the status quo. We challenge the rich and the powerful and the landowners, and we argue for a greater distribution of wealth and power. So that's why they don't like us.
Definitely. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is the Hope Over Fear rally. But before we do, to everybody watching, if you only see Tommy's picture, Tommy had some camera issues, so that's why you don't see him. It's not on your end. It's we have some technical difficulties, as sometimes it can come up. Tommy, tell us all about this Saturday, the Hope Over Fear rally. How did Hope Over Fear come about, and how are the preparations going for this Saturday?
Well, on the technical issues, it is important to bear in mind that I've probably broke the camera because when I looked into it, I think it didn't like what it saw and it decided to go on the blink. These things happen when you get to my age. I'm now a doughty old 55-year-old. So No, that technical issues are a bane of my life. I'm not the most technically savvy, so I apologise for your viewers if it's just a steady picture. Although I promise you, it's probably looks better than than a live. On Saturday,
Yep.
we will be holding our annual Hope Over Fear rally. We held our first one on the 12th of October 2014, so 5 years ago. And the reason we held it is because weeks after the narrow loss of the independence referendum of 18th September 2014, we recognised that the indie movement was down. The indie movement was sad. The indie movement was shattered,
Yeah.
because we thought we'd done enough to win. We, in the course of an 11-month period from October of 2013, when the Scotsman newspaper reported that only 25% of Scotland supported independence, we rose from 25% to 45%. So it was an incredible increase in support in the face of a uniformly biased and distorted media that tried to do us down. However, it wasn't enough, and after the referendum result, then the movement was sad. We decided that we had to pick ourselves up, taking from the philosophy of Muhammad Ali, who used to say, in life, as in the ring, what mattered was not how many times you were knocked down, but how many times you got back up again. And so we decided to call the 12th October rally and say to the indie movement, come on, pick yourselves up again. Let's get the banners out, let's get the flags out, and let's get the t-shirts on, and let's let the world know that we've lost this battle, but we're not going to lose the war.
Exactly.
So that's what we did. We assembled. We had over 10,000 people. It was brilliant, and we gave a commitment at that event that every year, near to the 18th September referendum date, we would meet again in Freedom Square in Glasgow. And we call it Freedom Square because Glasgow voted yes.
Exactly.
Glasgow is a yes city. Glasgow, Dundee, North Lanarkshire, Western Barton, they all voted yes. They were the areas that voted yes. So Glasgow's a yes city. So we call George Square, we rename it Freedom Square. And we said we would meet every year until we get our independence. So this theme of this one is the final countdown.
Yeah.
Because we believe we're very, very close to
the end game.
independence. So we're saying on Saturday, final countdown, use the mandate. The SNP has a mandate. The SNP leaders, in our opinion, have to stop asking for permission to use the mandate. We don't need permission to secure our self-determination. It's an inalienable right that we claim, and we will not allow Westminster to deny us that right. So we're saying to the SNP, you've got the mandate. Use the mandate. Don't in any way, shape or form seek permission from Westminster. First of all, they won't give us it, and they won't give us it because they know we're going to win. Remember, David Cameron only agreed to what's called a Section 30 agreement way back in 2013 because we were so low in the polls.
Exactly.
He thought there was no chance of people voting for independence, so he said, oh well, give them the referendum. There's no chance they're going to win. Let's shut them up. This time around, we are sitting at 50-50, and some of the polls recently are saying we're sitting at 52%. So from that point of view, they will not give us Section 30 orders. We don't ask permission. We name the date, we hold the referendum, and we secure our independence.
Amen. Amen. Tommy, I want to thank you for the interview, but there was one more thing that I want to mention. It's really off topic, but I know you're a big Celtic fan. But today was a sad day, basically for um, the other team.
Yep.
The Rangers had Fernando Rickson. I don't know if you heard the news, but he died.
Yes.
And to everybody involved, I just want to say uh, um, my condolences, offer our condolences to Fernando's family. And do you have any good memories of Fernando Rickson?
Well, the supporters and the family and the members of the Rangers family, they'll be glad for me to say no, I don't have any good memories of Fernando Rickson because he was such a good Rangers player. He was someone who time and time played well for Rangers, which meant they played well against Celtic. So my condolences are from a human point of view.
Yeah,
The man has died far too young, in
yeah,
his early 40s. He's for 6 years bravely battled against motor neurons disease.
yeah,
He's fought long and hard to raise awareness of motor neurons disease, raised thousands for charities, which is fantastic. It's an illness which we still know far too little about. And the best tribute I could play to Fernando Rickson is to say that we never liked playing against him because he was a buzz bomb. He was very energetic. He was a good servant for the Rangers team. So no, I wasn't friendly with him. I didn't like him as a player because he was so good against us. But that's a tribute. That isn't meant as a criticism. It's a tribute,
yeah.
and I'd certainly wish to send condolences to his family and his friends because it's a big loss when someone of that age is taken, especially someone so fit as
Yeah,
Fernando was, has taken away at such an early stage. So it's very, very sad, Raymond.
definitely. Well, again, Tommy, I want to thank you for the interview. People, the video will be up pretty soon in about 30 minutes, I guess, and we will have another interview very soon.
Okay.
And like we said, please, if you can, attend the Hope Over Fear rally. I guarantee you it will be an amazing day and with good entertainment, good speeches, and yeah, just attend. You'll have a great time. Uh, have a good evening, everybody, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.
Aye.